Good morning, students. In our botany class, we discussed about the lesson 2, classical genetics. In the last session, we finished up to the Mendel's analytical and empirical approach. In this session, we are going to discuss about test cross, back cross, dihybrid cross, dihybrid test cross. Let us see about one by one. First one, test cross. What is test cross? The test cross is a crossing an individual of unknown genotype with a homozygous recessive. Already we know about what is monohybrid cross. The cross made with a single contrasting character is known as monohybrid cross. For example, capital T is a dwarf plant, is a single character. Small t is a dwarf plant, it's another single character. So, the cross between the single contrasting character is known as monohybrid cross. It is only based on the law of dominance. So, we know about the Mendel's law of dominance, law of segregation, law of independent assortment. So, now we are going to discuss about the test cross. What is test cross? The test cross is crossing of an individual of unknown genotype with a homozygous recessive. Or otherwise, the F1 hybrid which are crossed with the homozygous recessive. For example, in our monohybrid cross, we are getting the capital T small t is the F1 generation. That capital T small t is the tall plant or nothing but heterozygous tall. It is crossed with homozygous recessive. We didn't know about the genotype of an F1 generation. We know about all are tall, capital T, small t, it represents the tall character. So, that unknown genotype is crossed with the homozygous recessive. That is known as test cross. In Mendel's monohybrid cross, all the plants are tall in F1 generation. So, when the monohybrid cross with the single contrasting character of tall and dwarf, all are produce the tall plant in F1 generation. In F2, it produced both the character, tall and dwarf, in the ratio of 3:1. 3:1. So that is the phenotypic ratio of monohybrid cross. What is the genotypic ratio? 1:2:1. 1:2:1. So that is genotypically homozygous tall, capital T, 1. Heterozygous tall, capital T, small t. Homozygous dwarf, 1. So 1:2:1 is the genotypic ratio. Now, Mendel did the another experiment, that is, the F2 produced the dwarf plant, the small t, which are obtained in the F2 generation. It undergoes to cross with the dwarf plant. So, what we get? All are dwarf plant in every generation. So, that's why. So, he concluded that the genotype of dwarf has homozygous. The genotype of tall plant capital T or capital T small t from F1 and F2 cannot be predicted. But Mendel self-pollinated dwarf F2 plants and got dwarf plants in F3 and F4 generation. So whenever we are going to cross with the dwarf plant, we are also getting the dwarf plant itself. But how we can tell if a tall plant is a homozygous or heterozygous? The tall plant is either homozygous or heterozygous. We didn't know about the genotype. We only find out the phenotype. Morphologically, it is tall. So, capital T, it produces tall. Capital T, small t, it also produces tall. But we didn't know about what is the genotype. So, to determine the genotype of a tall plant, Mendel crossed the plants from F2 with a homozygous recessive dwarf plant. This is called as test cross. The progenies of the test cross can be easily analyzed to predict the genotype of the plant or the test organism. Which organism going to involve in the test is called as test organism. Thus, in a typical test cross, an organism, in our botany we are going to use the pea plant as the organism. Showing dominant phenotype. What is dominant phenotype? We know about the capital T. So, whenever we are getting the any one capital T in the genotype, that is called as dominant character. So here, whose genotype is to be determined? The genotype is to be determined. When the capital T is come in the F1 generation, F2 generation, whatever may be, it only determine the character. It only determine the character. So that is cross with the recessive parent instead of self-crossing. That is known as test cross. What is the use of test cross? The test cross is used to identify whether an individual is homozygous or heterozygous for dominant character. It is used to identify whether an individual is homozygous or heterozygous for dominant character. For example, capital T, small t. Here the capital T is the dominant character. We can predict. Whereas small t, we didn't know about any other dominant character. So it shows the recessive character. So by this we know about what is the dominant character, what is the recessive character, whether it is homozygous or heterozygous. It only identify with the help of test cross. There are two types of test cross. If we are going to cross by means of heterozygous tall test cross, in this chart we know about if heterozygous tall test cross is make into 1:1 ratio. So first one, the parental phenotype, capital P represents for parental phenotype. Heterozygous tall. What is heterozygous tall? Capital T, small t, that is the genotype. The homozygous dwarf, small t, what is the genotype? Small t. So we know about the dwarf plant only comes with the homozygous. Dwarf plants are all having homozygous. They produce, the heterozygous tall produce the gametes, capital T and small t, different type of gametes. Whereas in homozygous dwarf, it produces only one type of gamete, small t alone. Now, these produce the offsprings, capital T, small t. That genotype is capital T, small t, it represents the tall plant. Small t represents the dwarf plant. So in test cross, we know about the genotypic ratio as well as phenotypic ratio are equal. That is nothing but 1:1. 1:1. What is the test cross ratio? 1:1. It is the monohybrid test cross ratio. Monohybrid test cross ratio is 1:1. So if heterozygous tall test cross, it shows the 1:1 ratio. 1:1 ratio. So one tall plant, one dwarf plant, we are getting the ratio 1:1. So that's why monohybrid test cross ratio is 1:1. Whereas if homozygous tall test cross, here the parental phenotype is homozygous tall. When we are getting the homozygous tall, capital T called as the homozygous tall. Homozygous dwarf, small t is the homozygous dwarf. So here we are going to choose the parental phenotype, homozygous tall, homozygous dwarf. What is the genotype of homozygous tall? Capital T. Homozygous dwarf, small t. They produce similar gametes. All are having the similar gametes, capital T as well as small t. What is the F1 generation or offspring produced in the F1 generation? All are heterozygous tall, capital T, small t. So here the phenotype is also produced tall plant only, but it has a heterozygous in genotype. So if the homozygous tall test cross, it produces all the plants are tall. Whereas heterozygous tall test cross, it produces 1:1 ratio. So we know about what is the monohybrid test cross ratio? 1:1. Whereas homozygous tall test cross, there is no ratio obtained. All are tall plants. Now, why Mendel's bee plant are tall and dwarf? Why Mendel's bee plants are tall and dwarf? Find out the molecular explanation. Here we know about what is the characteristic features. They produce the tall plant and dwarf plant. Already we know about the 7 contrasting characters of the pea plant. Physarum sativum are length of the stem, shape of the bud, shape of the seed color, flower position, flower color, pod color. Whereas the 7 contrasting characters of the garden pea or Physarum sativum, it show the location of the gene on the chromosomes are 1, 4, 5, 7. 1, 4, 5, 7 only has the 7 contrasting character. What about the remaining? The 2, 3 and 6 not having the genes or the character in the chromosomes. So that's why already we know about the 7 contrasting characters are with the genes. For example, the plant height, it is represented by the gene capital L small e, capital L small e. When the tall plant has the capital L small e, it shows the dominant trait, that is the capital L E. It is nothing but length. It shows the all are tall. Whereas small l small e, it shows the dwarf plant. So here we know about the molecular basis. Find out the molecular explanation. The molecular characterization of Mendel's gene for plant height. So what is the plant height? Here we give the gene for plant height. For tall plant capital L small e, whereas dwarf plant small l small e. The plant height is controlled by a single gene with 2 alleles. The reason for the difference in plant height is due to the following fact. So what are the factors? We are going to determine the tall plant in the Physarum plant. First one, the cells of the pea plant have the ability to convert a precursor molecule of gibberellin into an active form GA1. So what is the first one? What are the following facts? We can find out the plant height in Physarum plants. First one, the cells of the pea plant have the ability to convert a precursor molecule of gibberellin into an active form GA1. What we know about gibberellin? It is a growth regulator. Already we know about auxin, gibberellin, cytokinin, ethylene, abscisic acid. The auxin and gibberellin is widely used in the growth in plant in height wise. So the height of the plant will be increased by using of auxin and gibberellin. Then second point, tall pea plants have one allele. Capital L small e, that's for length. That code for a protein functional enzyme. Which functions normally in the gibberellin synthesis pathway and catalyze the formation of gibberellin. The allele is dominant even if it is 2, that is capital L small e, or capital L small e. So whatever may be, it has the capital L is the dominant character. Capital L is the dominant character for produce or stimulate the functions normally in the gibberellin synthesis. Whereas it produces gibberellin and the pea plants are tall. Dwarf pea plants have 2 recessive allele. There is no capital L. So all are having small l, small e, which code for non-functional protein. Hence they are dwarf. So what do you mean by the precursor of molecule gibberellin? The gibberellin precursor molecule will be active. Then it going to produce the tall plant. Whereas the gibberellin is not coded for protein function or protein synthesis. It is a non-functional enzyme. All are code for small l, small e. That is for dwarf. So here the gene for plant height in peas is only determined by capital L small e, or otherwise capital L small e. So that is the genotype as well as phenotype represented by the length gene in the chromosomes. It is only active by the gene to stimulate the gibberellin. Next one is the back cross. What is back cross? Already we finished test cross. What is test cross? The F1 hybrid crossed with the homozygous recessive. Homozygous recessive. That is known as test cross. Or otherwise, the unknown genotype is crossed with homozygous recessive is also known as test cross. What do you know about back cross? Here, a cross of F1 hybrid. A cross of F1 hybrid with any one of the parental genotype, whether capital T or small t. The back cross is of two types. They are dominant back cross and recessive back cross. So what is test cross? The F1 hybrid cross with homozygous recessive parent is known as test cross. Back cross, the F1 hybrid crossed with any other parent, either capital T or small t is called as back cross ratio. The back cross ratio is 1:1. 1:1. There are two types of back cross, dominant back cross and recessive back cross. Dominant back cross and recessive back cross. The cross involved between F1 offspring with either of the parent. What is the either of the parent? Either capital T or small t. Now, we are going to discuss about the next topic, dihybrid cross. What do you know about dihybrid cross? What is dihybrid cross? It is a genetic cross which involves individuals differing in two contrasting character. So already we know about what is monohybrid cross. The cross involves individuals of the single contrasting character. Now, the dihybrid cross is nothing but the genetic cross which involves differing in two contrasting characters is known as dihybrid cross. So in monohybrid cross, we have choose the contrasting character by means of tall and dwarf. Whereas in dihybrid cross, we are going to choose the contrasting character of the seed character and color of the cotyledon. Seed character, seed shape, round seed and ringle seed. Whereas the cotyledon color, yellow and green. So these are the two contrasting character. One is the seed shape, another one is the cotyledon color. The two contrasting character involved in the cross is known as dihybrid cross. In dihybrid inheritance is the inheritance of two separate genes, each with two alleles. Now we know about the laws of Mendel. Law of dominance, law of independent assortment, law of segregation. What do you know about law of dominance? The Mendel's monohybrid cross is only based on the law of dominance. What do you know about law of segregation? It also called as law of purity of gametes. Law of purity of gametes. Here we know about the gametes are never hybrid. Because it is only based on the law of segregation. During the gamete formation, it does not depend upon the other. So that is the third one, law of independent assortment. When two pairs of traits are combined in a hybrid, what is traits? Character, are combined in a hybrid, segregation of one pair of characters is independent to the other pair of characters. So segregation of one pair. What is the segregation of one pair? Here round, that is the one pair of characters independent to the other pair of characters, that is yellow. So it does not depend upon the yellow as well as round. Round does not depend yellow. Yellow does not depend upon the round. That is the independent assort. Genes are located in different chromosomes, assort independently during meiosis. Many possible combinations of vectors can occur in the gametes. That is nothing but we are getting different types of gametes in the dihybrid cross only based on the law of independent assortment. In law of independent assortment, we know about The dihybrid cross is the example for law of independent assortment, whereas the monohybrid cross is an example for law of dominance. Law of dominance, example monohybrid cross. Law of independent assortment, example dihybrid cross. Here in this cross we know about the contrasting character. So what is the parental phenotype? Homozygous round seed and yellow cotyledon. Homozygous round seed. For round seed, we are give the gene or the genotype capital R, capital R. For yellow cotyledon, capital Y, capital Y. So capital R, capital R, capital Y is the dominant character, which are having the recessive gene in homozygous ringle seed with green cotyledon. Homozygous ringle seed. Round seed, capital R. Ringle seed. What do you mean ringle seed? Shrunken or does not having any definite shape with green cotyledon. So that is the homozygous ringle seeds, green cotyledon. Their genotype is small r, small y. It undergoes to meiosis to produce the gametes. What is the gamete produced in capital R, capital Y? That is the capital R, capital Y produced from the capital R, capital Y. Small r, small y from small r, small y. What is the F1 generation? We are having the capital R, capital Y, small y, capital R, capital Y, small y. So here we know about the F1 generation, all are heterozygous. What's the character expressed here? What is the phenotype? Round seeds with yellow cotyledon, because capital R is the dominant, capital Y is the dominant. That character expressed in F1 generation is round seeds with yellow cotyledons. Then what do you mean by F2 generation? When the F1 generation undergoes to self-pollination or self-fertilized. So in the base of the chart we know about selfed. Genes are present on separate chromosome and randomed assortment takes place. So 4 different types of gametes in equal proportion are formed. It is only based on law of independent assortment. So we are getting the capital R, capital Y, small y as the heterozygous round seeds with yellow cotyledon. So what is the F2 generation? So here we know about the law of independent assortment is nothing but the capital R does not depend upon capital Y. Capital Y does not depend upon capital R. They are independently assorted because they are present in different type of chromosomes. So here we are produced the 4 type of gamete. Capital R, capital Y, small y, capital R, capital Y, small y. So for example, when monohybrid cross, capital T, small t, it produces 2 type of gamete, capital T as well as small t. They are separated. Here itself we are having the 2 different contrasting character, round seed with the yellow cotyledon, ringle seed with the green cotyledon. So what are the gametes obtained by the F2 generation from the F1 generation? Capital R, capital Y, capital R, small y, small r, capital Y, small r, small y. What are the gametes obtained from F1 generation? Capital R, capital Y, both are dominant. Then capital R, small y, it's a heterozygous. Then small r, capital Y, it also heterozygous. Small r, small y, it's a homozygous like. So these are the 4 different type of gametes obtained from the F1 generation. When they are going to self-fertilized, it produces the offsprings by means of 9:3:3:1. 9:3:3:1. So this is the basic one. The 2 contrasting character for parents, capital R, capital Y for round seed with yellow cotyledon. Small r, small y for ringle seed with green cotyledon. They produce gametes from capital R, capital Y. The gametes are capital R, capital Y. Whereas The small r, small y, it produces the gametes, small y. What is the F1 generation? The capital R, small r, capital Y, small y is the F1 generation. All are round seed with yellow cotyledon. When the F1 generation going to crossed or self-fertilized, they produce the F2 generation by the gamete formation. From the F1 generation, it produces 4 type of gamete: capital R, capital Y, capital R, small r, capital Y, small r, small y. So, in monohybrid cross, the F2 generation, it produced by means of 2 different type of gamete. Whereas, in dihybrid cross, for the F2 generation, it produced from the F1 generation getting 4 type of gamete: capital R, capital Y, capital R, small r, capital Y, small r, small y. We know about the Mendel's dihybrid cross ratio is an example for law of independent assortment. Here, the independent assortment leads to genetic diversity. If an individual produces genetically dissimilar gametes, it is the consequence of independent assortment. What do you mean genetically dissimilar gametes? It's nothing but capital R, capital Y, small r, capital Y, small r, small y. So like this, the different type of gametes obtained from the dihybrid cross, it is consequent of independent assortment. Through independent assortment, the maternal and paternal members, what do you mean maternal mother, paternal father, of all pairs were distributed to gametes. All pairs were distributed to the gametes. So, all possible chromosomal combinations were produced leading to genetic variation. In sexually reproducing plants or organisms due to independent assortment, genetic variation takes place which is important in the process of evolution. So, law of independent assortment is important for the process of evolution. The law of segregation is concerned with alleles of one gene, but the law of independent assortment deals with relationship between the genes. So note down, the law of segregation is concerned with alleles of one gene. It is concerned with alleles of one gene, whereas the law of independent assortment deals with the relationship between the genes. It is only concerned with the one gene of the alleles, but here it deals with the relationship between genes. So already we know about how the dihybrid cross done by Mendel's. The crossing of two plants differing in 2 pairs of contrasting traits is called dihybrid cross. In dihybrid cross, the 2 characters, color and shape, are considered as a time. Mendel considered the shape round and wrinkled and cotyledon color yellow and green as the 2 characters. In sheet shape, round is the dominant. Over wrinkled, that is small r. In cotyledon color, yellow is the dominant, capital Y. Over the green is the recessive, small y. Hence, the pure breeding round yellow parent is represented by genotype capital R, capital Y. And the pure breeding green wrinkled parent is represented as the genotype small r, small y. During gamete formation, the paired genes of a character assort out. During gamete formation, the paired genes of a character assort out independently of the other pair. It does not depend upon the other. It is independently assorted during the F1 and into F1 fertilization. That is nothing but when the F1 undergoes self-fertilized, each zygote with an equal probability receives one of the 4 recombinations from each parent. The resultant gametes thus will be genetically different and they are of the following 4 type of offsprings. So yellow round. So capital Y, capital R, or capital Y. The seeds are round with the yellow cotyledon. Whereas wrinkled yellow, small r, capital Y. Then round green, capital R is for round, small y for green. Whereas wrinkled green, small r for wrinkled, then green for small y. So we are getting the different type of gametes from the F1 generation. We are getting the 4 type of gamete. So we are having the offsprings in the F2 generation. 16 offsprings are produced in F2 generation. That F2 generation having yellow round 9 by 16, yellow ringed 3 by 16, green round 3 by 16, green ringled 1 by 16. So in our tabular column or checkerboard, we are going to about the yellow round is for round and yellow, ringled yellow, round green, ringled green. So that is the ratio obtained by means of 9:3:3:1. 9:3:3:1. These four types of gametes of F1 dihybrids unite randomly in the process of fertilization and produce 16 types of individuals in F2 in the ratio of 9:3:3:1. Whereas it produces a genotypic ratio about 1:2:2:4:2:1:2:1:1. So it is, we know about what is the phenotypic ratio in dihybrid cross, 9:3:3:1. In genotypic ratio, it produces 1:2:4:1:2:1:2:1. So this is the genotypic ratio in dihybrid cross. So Mendel's 9:3:3:1 dihybrid ratio is an ideal ratio based on probability including segregation, independent assortment and random fertilization. In sexually reproducing organisms or plants, from the garden peas to human beings, it is applicable to all organisms. Mendel's finding laid down the foundation for understanding inheritance and revolutionized the field of biology. The dihybrid cross and its result led Mendel to propose a second set of generalization that we called Mendel's law of independent assortment. So, the law of dominance is only proved in Mendel's monohybrid cross. The law of independent assortment can be proved in Mendel's dihybrid cross. So, this is the outline, the cross for Mendel's dihybrid cross in Pisum sativum. So in this chart we refer the parental generation, that is the female as well as male. The parent one is the female, parent two is the male. The parental phenotype round yellow cotyledon, ringled green cotyledon is the parent two male. It is the genotype we can find out in the round yellow cotyledon, capital R, capital R, capital Y, capital Y. It is for dominant character, whereas the ringled gene or the ringled green cotyledon, it's for the parent 2 as a male. So already we know about the 7 contrasting character of cotton pea. It is located in the different chromosomes. So what we know about, so we know about the 7 contrasting character occur in the Pisum sativum. They are find out the different chromosome, that is 1, 4, 5, 7. We know about these are the chromosomes having the different contrasting character. For example, the seed color, it is nothing but the cotyledon color we know about. It is located in the first chromosome, whereas the seed shape is located in the 7th chromosome. So they are not depend upon the genes because they are located in different chromosome. So the seed color are nothing but cotyledon color found in first chromosome. The seed shape located in 7th chromosome. So here we are having the haploid gametes as capital R, capital Y, capital R, capital Y. From the capital R, capital R, capital Y, capital Y, whereas the small r, small y produced from the ringled green cotyledon. The F1 generation are capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. So that's why we write first of all the character of single, seed shape, seed color. So here the seed shape is right as first, seed cotyledon color is second. So some of them they are going to confuse capital R, capital Y, small r, small y. Don't write like this. So we write only like capital R, small r. This is the character. So character wise we are going to predict the F1 generation. So capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. Then it undergoes to selfed. That self, it undergoes to produce 4 type of gamete. Capital R, capital Y, capital R, small y, small r, capital Y, small r, small y. Thus undergoes to the dihybrid cross, that is the F2 generation. It produces 16 offspring. In this 16 offspring, first one, capital R, capital R, capital Y is the 1. Then capital R, capital Y, small y is the 2. So 1 is to 2. Whereas capital R, small r, capital Y also 2. Whereas the capital R, small r, capital Y, small y, we are getting 4. So 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1. The 9 is nothing but 9 or round with yellow cotyledon. 1 is to 2 is to 2 is to 1 is to 4. So here 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1. We are going to find out the 9 is nothing but all are round yellow. So 1 is to 2 is to 2 is to 4. 1 is to 2 is to 2 is to 4. That is 9. Whereas next 3 is to 3 is to 1. The 3 is to 3 is to 1 is nothing but round with green cotyledon. Round with green cotyledon. So 9 round yellow, 3 round green cotyledon, then another 3 round that is round yellow is the first 3. Next one is the ringled yellow. Round green is the first 3. Next one, ringled yellow is the next 3. The last one, smaller, small y. We are getting only one recessive genotype as the ringled green cotyledon. Ringled seed with green cotyledon. So that's why the phenotypic ratio obtained in the dihybrid cross is 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1. Whereas the Mendel's monohybrid cross 3 is to 1. Whereas the test cross ratio 1 is to 1. Test cross ratio is 1 is to 1. In dihybrid genotypic ratio 1 is to 2 is to 4 is to 4, 2 is to 1 is to 2 is to 1 is to 2 is to 1. So next one is the dihybrid test cross. Already we know about what is test cross. The unknown genotype of an individual crossed with the homozygous recessive is known as test cross, or otherwise the F1 hybrid cross with recessive genotype is known as test cross. Here in this, the F1 hybrid plant. What is the F1 hybrid plant obtained in the dihybrid cross? Round seed with yellow cotyledon. It is crossed with the homozygous double recessive. What is homozygous double recessive? Ringled seed with a green cotyledon. So it is going to cross with each other. This is called as dihybrid test cross. Here we are going to getting the ratio 1 is to 1 is to 1 is to 1. So all are equal proportion. Whereas in dihybrid phenotypic ratio 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1. Otherwise, the dihybrid test cross ratio is 1 is to 1 is to 1 is to 1. So this for dihybrid test cross. So the parental phenotype. So here we can refer the flow chart. The heterozygous round piece with yellow cotyledon. That is nothing but capital R, capital Y, small y. This is the phenotype. The genotype is capital R, capital Y, small y. The phenotype for homozygous double recessive phenotype, homozygous ringled piece with green cotyledon. Their genotype are small r, small y, small y. The gametes obtained from this capital R, capital Y, small y, it produces 4 type of gamete. Capital R, capital Y, capital R, small y, small r, capital Y, small r, small y. Whereas the small y, small y produce only one type of gamete. When they are going to cross with each other, they produce 4 type of offsprings. Round yellow, round green, ringled yellow, ringled green. So all are equal proportion, 1 is to 1 is to 1 is to 1. This is the phenotypic as well as genotypic ratio in Dihybrid test cross. Dihybrid test cross. Now we are ending with the conclusion. So today we discuss about the test cross, back cross, dihybrid cross and dihybrid test cross. So we know about what is monohybrid phenotypic ratio 3:1, monohybrid genotypic ratio 1:2:1, monohybrid test cross ratio 1:1, dihybrid phenotypic ratio 9:3:3:1, dihybrid genotypic ratio. We find out the first 9, it is equal to 1:2:2:4. All are round yellow. Then second 3 is nothing but 1:2. It is round green. Then third 3, 1:2, it represents for wrinkled yellow. Then last one, one is the wrinkled green. So the phenotypic ratio in dihybrid 9:3:3:1. The dihybrid genotypic ratio is 1:2:2:4:1:2:1:2:1. This is the important one. Then last one, dihybrid test cross ratio is 1:1:1:1. So that's all for today's session. So prepare for the home test. See you in the next class. We are going to continue the classical genetics. See you students. Take care. Bye.